Got any interview notes ready?
Yeah, I'm going to get that out in a minute. So, do you feel martial arts benefits people if they take things like that up?
Of course it does, yeah. It basically gives them discipline, it gives them some kind of perspective, basically like different situations that they may come across in life, you know what I mean? It gives them a more awareness of, like, say, to be aware of other people, especially in this day and age, unfortunately, where gangs are around and things like that. People are a bit more aware, a bit more dubious about being standing on their own. So martial arts offers that kind of, in a way, a bit more security, because you can actually be able to learn skills that give you more self-confidence. Karate or
is this
kickboxing
one
years ago, and now
mindset?
doing mixed
I
martial
am the
arts.
best.
So
I teach you what you need to know. You don't go anywhere else.
In the 70s,
in the 70s and 80s, it was very nice in traditional martial arts. You stayed in one dojo, and that's all you did. You did not go to a club.
Where it's
you stayed with the
basically
instructors from being a white belt to a black belt, and then you went off and did your own classes under your instructor's name. Nowadays, mixed martial arts clubs are going the same way. There's more demand now for martial arts. A lot of these clubs are getting very big, and they're saying to their fighters, you will stay with us. If you go and train at another club, then we will not allow you back in here. You've got to basically train with us and nobody else. And that's the biggest flaw that will end up in mixed martial arts. Not the system itself, but the fact that people, instructors especially, are going to get very kind of demanding of the fighters, and the fighters are going to be like, well, I want to move on. I want to go to a new camp. I want to do something different. So basically the biggest problem with mixed martial arts is going to be mixed martial arts itself, the instructors, the fighters. They're the ones that have got to get this sorted out before it gets out of control and ends up like it did, like I say, in the early 80s, when clubs were being closed down because instructors fell out with the students or instructors fell out with other instructors. That's the problem with mixed martial arts, and that's the problem that with any martial art, the bigger it becomes, the more people want it. It's been for the last 26 years that I know of, is they are stuck in their old ways of we are the greatest system, everyone should be wearing a white suit, everyone should be getting a black belt. Well, I'm sorry, but MMA is the future. Traditional martial arts will still be around. It will never ever leave us, as traditional kung fu, ninjutsu, kickboxing, Thai boxing will never go. The problem is the next generation of basically fighters and students will end up in mixed martial arts classes, because there's more to do in a mixed martial arts class. There's not just the kicks and the punches, there's more groundwork, there's more thought process in it. A mixed martial artist of a top rank in mixed martial arts has to be an all-round athlete. You cannot just end up in the same person doing a standard kick or a standard punch. They are an all-round athlete, and if you look at the top fighters, they are top of the game. They are top of the game in everything they do. Mixed martial arts has been around for 10-15 years. The only reason why mixed martial arts has gone as big as it has now is basically because UFC, and it's literally its power that it has over the media, because it has its own Spike TV, the actually own Spike TV, actually literally put the name on the map. It's brought in people like Affliction, Tap Out, big clothing companies, big manufacturers of actually equipment such as Round 5 who actually manufacture the dolls. The actual things that the clothing ranges, just the ranges of products you can get now, it's just phenomenal. And it is a marketing tool. MMA, if you like, or UFC, is the equivalent to what would be Adidas or the Nike of like the normal kind of, say, clothing ranges for like the normal athletes. Mixed martial arts has exploded only in, say, the last 2 to 3 years, purely because of basic media coverage and the fact that there's a UFC event on now probably once a week, twice a week, even something like 3 times a week in some places. And the UK market of MMA has massively grown, especially this year. There's events on every other weekend in mixed martial arts. But most of the guys that do mixed martial arts have done some form of karate, kickboxing, kung fu in the past, added the jiu-jitsu skills, wrestling skills in, and now call themselves mixed martial artists. But MMA has been around in its different formats for a number of years. Myself included, I started off doing traditional karate, went into full contact karate, added jiu-jitsu into it, then went into kickboxing, and this is 15 years ago, 20 years ago I was doing all this. So MMA is not a new thing. It's a new thing to the public, because obviously they just see it from like this big TV coverage like the UFCs and Strike Force and Affliction, Combat, that kind of thing. That's what people see, and that's what people are buying into. They don't mind spending £80-90 for a ticket and going and watching a good live UFC or a good live Strike Force or a fight night. or like in the UK events like UCC, UC MMA, which is down in London. These people are willing to pay to go and watch a good fight, have a good night out, and say they've seen some decent martial arts action.